back, anybody who might be listening, as we are back in Phasmophobia for yet another Apoc 3 run. I'm going to be making these runs at least until I get this trophy, so that might last forever. Who knows? All right, I'm just going to take a quick look, make sure that all my settings are, set. It looks like I have the correct loadout, or at least the loadout that I prefer for this. Whether or not it's correct, I guess that's a matter of debate, but this is what I like. Okay. And just take a quick look. I think I explained this in my very first video, and that was the video that I didn't even realize that the mic was muted throughout most of it. Apparently, that was the default setting for my streaming settings. So 40 minutes into the stream, I checked my settings and realized that I was muted the whole time. So you were just watching me walk around in Phasmo with no commentary. So I just want to take a quick look. I'll explain everything that I go through here, in case I haven't done that, fully voiced. Speaking of which, before we get too far into this, let's just double check and make sure I am broadcasting. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Okay, great. I don't know if you can see that, but I am. Okay. So these black indicators here, these black symbols, refer to the basic evidence gathering symbols, the ones that are necessary to take into every hunt, or every ghost hunt. These are all tier 3. I don't really use many of these things. I may use a video camera, and I will definitely use a photo camera, which is not on the requirement list. But UV light thermometer, spirit box, they're not really that useful to me with what we're doing here. Crucifix, of course, not super useful for Apoc 3 run unless you're required to get a crucifix burn as one of your 3 objectives. So I have those with me. Firelight, I like firelight for lighting the hallways, for being able to get a look at the ghost. It provides me just a little bit better ambiance, I guess, but I can also place one down the hall, back off, and then get a better picture of the ghost as he walks into the light from a distance, if I have a good spot to hide from. Headgear, I'm using tier 3 night vision headgear. It's really the only way to go here. Igniters, of course, the lighter. The incense, if I haven't talked about this before, I'm using tier 1 incense. Of course, I have access to tier 3 incense, but if you are not aware, the different tiers of incense affect the ghost differently, right? Tier 3 incense, all 3 of them are going to blind the ghost for an amount of time. They are different amounts of time depending on the tier. I don't remember off the top of my head. We could go look at it. It's not that important. All 3 of them are going to blind the ghost for an amount of time. The tier 3 incense, I believe, and I'm just pulling this off of memory, but I don't, but I believe this to be true. The tier 3 will cause the ghost to stop in its tracks. The tier 2 causes it to slow down, and the tier 1 just blinds it. It keeps moving at the same speed, but it's blind. The reason I like the tier 1 for what we're doing here is that if I'm in a situation where I need to use a smudge, I want that ghost to get as far away from me as possible. So I want him to move at full speed. Blind him and let him just keep running down the hallway, and hopefully he doesn't make it back to me. Fingers crossed. Motion sensor in case we need that. Parabolic is one of my premier tools for searching for the ghost room, or at least finding the ghost. It's just listening to it on parabolic. This is also my most used tool for identifying the ghost, listening to its footsteps, the way it hunts, what it's throwing, etc., etc., etc. The parabolic is probably the most important thing in my kit, second only to the photo camera, because it's so necessary. I guess actually the photo camera is probably second to the parabolic, but it's absolutely necessary to get that photo of the ghost. So we have a tier 3 photo camera for the best chance of getting that. Salt could be useful in case I'm hoping to slow the ghost down to get that photo, or maybe get a video. I only bring 1. I should probably bring 3, just in case. Of course, you know what? Let's do that. Of course, it's also important. There we go. For identifying a wraith on the off chance that you have one. There you go. Sanity medication is completely useless here. Sound recorder. There's that chance you're going to get that sound recorder objective. It's an awful objective to get on a Apoc run, as that means you have to get close enough to the ghost to get that sound recording from his room. Whew. I don't like the idea that I might get that. Sound sensor, obviously useless to me. We don't spend any time in the truck. Tripod, you know, the video camera is only for a quick one-off in case we have that objective. I don't need a tripod. I'm not going to go back to the truck and check a hunt. So that's my reasoning behind all these things. If you watch a lot of Apoc runs, you probably already know that. And you may even know things that I don't know, or maybe sitting there correcting me on things that I got wrong. But this is the setup that I have built after probably about a dozen runs now. But also watching a fair number of hours of other people doing runs as I prepare myself for this endeavor. I'm going straight for gold. I'm not trying to do bronze. I'm not trying to do silver. I'm going straight for gold, because if you get the gold, you also get the other two. There's no point in building up that way. So I'm just going to go for the big one. Yes, it's the hardest one to get, but hey, to get that gold, I'm going to have to pour the time into it anyway. So why waste time getting the easy ones instead of just jumping straight to the hard ones? You know, we never really stop to appreciate the scenery here. Oh boy. And maybe that's why. Wow, look at that. The mountain just grows as you look around the corner. Is that a mountain? What am I seeing here? It looks like a mountain in like, oh boy. Well, I'm blanking on that. Santa Monica Mountains, which can be green. Oh wow, yeah, the visual pop on the outside. That's so strange. I don't really understand enough about gaming mechanics to know why it does that. And I love that we managed to get in here and set up this tape before we even open the door. I guess you would do it before we walk into the back of the truck. Do we walk into the back of the truck and then close it up? I don't know. Okay, first thing that I want to do. I have heard in the past that before you walk in the door, you could catch ghost orbs on a camera. If it's a mimic. And only if it's a mimic. And only if you're so lucky that this mimic is in a spot where one of these cameras would catch orbs. It doesn't look like we're going to be that lucky. And I've watched other people do this on their streams before they go and open the door or step in. It doesn't make sense, because I've also heard it reported that the ghost doesn't spawn until you cross the threshold. So when does it choose its room? When would you see orbs? I haven't worked those things out. I can tell you that I'm not seeing them now. So let's take a look at our objectives here. We have a Jerry Belfield. That's great. Immediately I'm going to cross up Banshee and Diane. Those are female-only ghosts. Jerry is probably a male. All right. We have a sound recorder, which means that this attempt is probably not going to succeed. We have to cleanse the area near the ghost using incense. That's pretty easy. And we have to get the ghost to blow out firelight. That's also pretty easy. I tend to get this one without even noticing. Something strange happens here. You can get that almost immediately. Light the firelight, throw it in the door. And there have been times I've walked past out to the truck and that's crossed off. None of the firelight is out, but that's crossed off. Some sort of bug. I don't know, but I'll take it. So this sinks my heart a little bit. The odds of me being able to get close enough to the ghost room in order to get those sounds is pretty slim. But we're going to make this attempt all the same. So, as always, I'm going to start myself off with these objects with firelight. Firelight and a crucifix. On the off chance that it is something that's going to spawn in this front room, and maybe I'll get so lucky as it'll burn a crucifix before I get very far. So we'll throw that firelight in. Now, if I'm lucky, I'll go back out and that firelight objective will be done. If I'm lucky. I mean, it's just happened. Every time I've gotten firelight, at some point throughout the hunt, that firelight gets crossed off without me even realizing it's happened. Not because the ghost got particularly close. I have no idea why it happens. It just does. So we're going to go about slowly moving things in as we do. And this game is a test of patience. This is a endurance run. This is not something that you can rush. This is not exciting to watch. I'm not really certain why Apoc 3 runs are so popular. If you got somebody with a great personality that can chatterbox his way through the whole thing, awesome. I don't like to do that. I believe it's set up so that the ghost can hear me talk, even when I'm streaming. So obviously I don't want to draw it to me prematurely. So I tend to be pretty quiet when I know it's hunting. And when I'm uncertain if it's hunting or not, I also tend to be a little quiet. But here I am chatterboxing away while we have time. Obviously we're not going to get hunted from outside. No worries here. We're just going to slowly move things to the door. While we're doing that, I don't know. I'll chat a bit about who I am. In case, some random person ever comes across these streams. So I'm good Bjorning. Might also, let's just go good Bjorning for now. I'm a eldritch millennial, a little bit on the older side. I don't want to get too detailed about who I am. I'm a little bit private. I don't really have much of a social media footprint. I have a Facebook, but I tend not to put the app on my phone, and I certainly don't go to it in my laptop browser, so I don't really go there often or get updates there. I also very rarely will post a photo or something to Instagram. But other than that, I don't TikTok, I don't Snapchat, I don't use any of that. I'm pretty private in a lot of ways, which is funny because I do have a very public job, but that's one of the reasons for keeping so much internet privacy, because of my very public job. I came up as with great interest in science and math, but ended up becoming more of an artist, mostly on accident, but I did make a career out of it. I've been working as an artist around the U.S. And to a smaller extent globally. For the past, what year is this now? Almost 20 years. About long enough to retire if I've made any money. So that's my story. I do a lot. I do still think I have my first degree was in math. I took a very strong interest in physics when I was young. So I think about those things a lot in what I do, in the art that I make. And I've used it somewhat. I do a lot of three-dimensional stuff that will make use of my math and physics backgrounds at times. It's really hard to get into the details without getting into the details, without revealing too much about myself. So I'm going to test a theory right now. So I crossed that threshold and then I walked right back out the door. Check to make sure firelight hasn't been blown out, which it hasn't. And I'm going to go in here really quick. And I'm just going to double check for orbs. On the off chance that I was correct and that orbs aren't going to spawn until I step into the room. Or step into the building, rather. Whether or not it's true, I'm going to have no idea. Because I see nothing on these cameras. All right. Worth a shot. I have had plenty of ghosts in that kitchen, and of course they will occasionally spawn in the chapel there. So if I'm going to get a mimic, and if I'm so lucky that it's going to spawn in one of those places, one day maybe I'll learn the answer to that firsthand. Or maybe one day I'll wise up and just look it up. All right, so this ghost is primed. He is ready. He's probably going to hunt the moment I walk in this door. Let me see if I can reach. Okay, spot a smudge. And where's my parabolic? I think that's it right there. We're going to make a beeline for that, hide in this corner, and just start listening in. Let's go. Okay, didn't get the immediate hunt. That's good. Okay. All right, well, we're going to start slowly moving up. Since he's giving us the freedom to do so. It gave me a little chill. Like, I heard that sound as I was hitting the button, and I was like, hunt! But it wasn't. It was just one of those random noises. If it echoes, it's not the ghost. It's just one of those random noises that you hear in this building. Door's still open. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. All right, let's listen. I don't immediately hear anything. So wherever he is, he's not close. Okay.
The first step is easy,
Whoa.
but hold on to your pawn.
Excuse that. I'm going to sit and listen for a little bit. Just want to hear him. And I don't hear anything. So I'm not going to be so lucky to be able to identify this thing quickly. That's fine. Let's double check. Do I have a light switch over here? I have one over here. Alright, so it's not hunting right now. I don't know when that stopped. Which is a shame. I would... Oops, let's not do that. At some point I need to figure out when its hunts start and stop so I can get a timer going to test for certain aspects, like whether or not it's a demon or whether or not it hunts at somewhat random intervals. I haven't gotten a good handle on Galus or Obombos. I have a feeling that I should be able to tell an Obombo based on differences in its hunts. In this Galus, I may not be so lucky. So I don't know when they flip their enraged state. Do they just do it all the time, or do they only do it when they come in contact with salt or a crucifix? So, I don't know, I gotta do more digging on that. But first things first, we need to hear some footsteps. So here I am chatterboxing away. Let's open that door up since we're here. Just give us a little bit better of a sense of when these hunts are going to start. Right now, apparently. Still no sign. still need this. I'm honestly not even sure why I brought it in. But we do need these smudges. I'll leave the salt in the crucifix. I may want to carry the crucifix when... Oof, that is dangerous. Don't throw your smudges down next to your lanterns. It's a good way to accidentally light them on fire. I may want to carry the crucifix when I go down to try to get close enough to do the sound recording, if we get to that point. Because it might just save my life if I happen to be within range of a hunt when it starts and it burns the crucifix instead of me. You know what I'm saying? There I go, throwing that too close to the lantern again. Alright. I'll walk around a bit and see if we can get an idea where this thing is. Is it hunting right now? It is. It's currently hunting. Using the light switch trick. If it's hunting, I'm not going to be able to turn the lights on. Where was that? That was the sound of the ghost throwing something, but I missed it. I heard it. Somehow I didn't see it. Weird. Wait. Oh, that's me. Very tense. Oh boy. Yeah, that was short-lived. That interesting. So, I'm gonna make a quick guess. We're gonna say Wraith. I'm very curious about what just happened there because I heard those couple of throws nearby, but I never once heard it was a mimic. Go figure. So those throws nearby, I mean, did it teleport to me? Was it did it move rooms? I don't understand what just happened, because it did seem to spawn right there in that hallway right where it was, but we listened. We heard a couple of different hunts and it was nowhere near us. Maybe it was down below us and it wandered up and started hunting from up there during a wander. Confusing, a little frustrating. Didn't really stand a chance there, obviously. Tell you what, how long have we been up at this for? Let's take a quick look. Let's see here. 26 minutes. I think we can do another. Let's do another, huh? This should really get a full hour. Okay, here we go again. All right. Oh, let's take a look here first. Motion sensor. Okay, that's not terrible. Parabolic. That's a gimme. And repel with incense while it's chasing someone. It's a little dangerous, but likely to happen. Its name is Ronald, so we can immediately eliminate Banshee and Dayan. And just in case, I can't believe I had a mimic, but I couldn't see orbs anywhere. Disappointing. I wonder. See, no. I was thinking it's like maybe I should take a camera around and look for orbs. In order to see them, I'd have to get too close to the ghost room. Too close. So that's not worth that's not worth the effort. That's not worth the risk. All right. You would usually identify a mimic mostly just by noticing that it changes, which is really difficult to do, of course. But on these affairs, I don't know if I've crossed the threshold or not. We'll see. You're going to listen to a lot of hunts. I'm going to listen to a lot of hunts. There's going to be times where I just do nothing but listen to hunts. There's going to be times where I do nothing but listen to hunts for a long period of time. So, it's likely that I'm going to hear a change. Let's see. I may be getting a request to go play with some friends, which is something I would like to do. We'll see. I guess. So if you see me stop moving for a second, it's because I'm responding to a message. There's a chance that I'm gonna take them up on their offer if they'd like me to jump into a game. But I did tell them I'm doing an Apoc 3 run, so they may just give me space to do that. They're also playing a custom no evidence. Probably not as intense as this, but no shame. Did we say we had to get a motion sensor? Yes, we did. Okay, so let's grab that off the wall. At least we do not have to attempt sound recording. I'm going to grab just... no, I'm not going to grab the one salt because my hands are full. Moving along. What else do I feel comfortable telling you? They said they don't know what they're doing with their custom no evidence, to which I replied, girl, same. Do we ever really know what we're doing? Like, at any point, I think we're all just sort of making it up as we go and hoping nobody notices. Okay, I'll grab that. We'll leave the sound recorder behind. That's nice. That'll do it for setup, or at least for the things that we need to grab. Do we have to get firelight again? I don't remember what my objectives were. Parabolic incense and motion sensor. So firelight is only there for practical purposes. Okay. Well, we're here. I'm going to cross that threshold, grab a smudge stick, and start moving things up while we wait for that first hunt to start. Okay, I'm not hearing anything. Keep this near. Don't want to risk it. Here we go. Let's just listen. Okay. I'm going to move forward. There he is. Okay. Hard to say where it started from. Did it seem like it was throwing more than usual? I don't think it did. And it sounded like a very normal speed, so this isn't going to be easy. We'll try it, but it's not going to be easy. Yeah, boy. Well, I really don't know. I'm going to guess poltergeist just because of the vague suspicion. All right, well, two rough ones. Oh, a mare. Come on, I was going to have a real hard time figuring that out. Um, yeah, all right. Well, not a great night, but hey, sometimes that's just the way it's going to go, right? So thanks for joining me. These were, uh, it's a short episode, but that's fine. I think two is enough for me. I'll come back again another time. I've been snowed in for the last couple of days, so you know roughly where I am, and I will be snowed in for at least another day. So I'm sure I'll get back around to this after I'm done with some teleworking tomorrow. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you have a good night.